All right, Jeff, I'm recording this video so you can follow along, right? I'm going to upload this to YouTube. So let me share my screen, put my screen to Adobe Premiere. So let me minimize all this stuff real quick. Minimize this, get this out of the way. Okay, so you're seeing my Adobe Premiere. There's a couple of things I want to tell you about before we actually start this project. You can actually go to, let's see if I can move this out of the way. I'll move this to the bottom real quick for now. All right. Let's say your screen is out of whack. Let me show you something really quickly. I'm going to show you how I like my workspace, okay? I'm going to click on Essentials. You see how my screen changed? I'm going to click another window and I'm going to click on Learning or Libraries. All right. So Adobe Premiere has different types of workspaces. The workspace I like to work in is called Essentials. This is no, not Essentials. I'm sorry. The one I like to work in is called effects and editing, probably. Let's try these two. There is effects, editing, and effects. Yep. And this is the one I kind of like to work in. I like to work on this one, okay? And what we're going to do is, of course, you have this area over here. I'm going to make this smaller. There we go. Remember, this is the area where you got your project files. You're going to upload or import your project files. The way you do that is double click. It opens up your little window and you're just going to look for wherever you save those files. So I saved my files that you sent me in my downloads folder. There's the footage, there's the hill painting, and I just imported them into Adobe, okay? So there they are. Next step, what you're going to do is you're going to drop your video first. Just highlight it over here. You can also move your mouse over here to drag to view the video image if you ever want to. It'll move the video over here as a preview. You can also double click it and you can also view it as well. If you double click that, it'll open up another window. I'm going to pick up the video. I'm going to drop them in the timeline. This over here, this area is your timeline. This is the workspace where you use to edit. You can edit, chop, view, drop effects, all the stuff we're about to do, okay? Here's the video. Okay. So I'm going to move that. Let me put the music off. I'm gonna move. They call it scrubbing. I'm gonna scrub the video till she gets out of the image. Okay. It's from here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop that effect. It's called ultra key. I'm gonna look for ultra key. You're gonna go to your effects box, search over here. I'm gonna type in ultra key. It's going to get you all the way down to that folder. It's going to be right there. I'm going to grab that ultra key. This ultra key gives you the ability to lay over images, over videos and images. I'm going to undo to show you that when you drop the ultra key, look at the effects square. I drop it, it lights up pink. That tells you that you have the effect dropped onto the actual footage. It opens up over here inside your effects controls. You got effects and you got effects controls. This is where you control your effect. So I'm looking for ultra key. It's right there. You're going to scroll up and down to find it. Okay. If you don't see it here, that means you didn't drop the ultra key on top of your video. So just make sure you dropped it and make sure that effect over here is lit up. All you're going to do inside this ultra key section is if you actually minimize it, you can expand it, minimize it. You can minimize all these areas if you don't want to see them all. It makes it easier to see some of your files. You can expand ultra key. That's the spot we're going to. Click on the dropper. All you're going to do is go to the green screen. You're going to get a sample of that green. Anywhere. You can click anywhere. I'm going to click in the middle. All you're going to do is get that sample. It just created a layover on top of that video. Next, I'm going to grab the image of the hill. I'm going to drop it down. What you can also do is, let's see if I can move this out of the way. Wish I could hide it. What you can do here is you can expand this time frame to stretch it, but that's a good stretch right there. And I'm going to drag with my mouse to match the video. Make sure This is how you can tell you're on the right layer. They light up, okay? Make sure you're on the hill. You're going to go back to your effects control. You're going to go to motion, open up the motion, and you're going to size it by scale. And don't worry if you get it mixed up, all right? If you get it mixed up, all you're going to do is hit this little arrow to the right to reset it. It just resets everything back to normal, okay? So don't worry about going the wrong or right direction. You can do this multiple times. I'm going to do it about right there. I'm going to move him down a little bit, maybe to the left a little bit. I'm going to make him a little bit bigger, all right? And that stretches it. So now what I want to do is I want to get that image to fit the frame. I'm going to look for a thing called corner pin. So type it in. There it is. I'm going to drag the corner pin on top of the image, okay? That effect control lit up green. This one's green, this one's pink. This one's green, just so they color coordinate them. And you're going to look for this section called corner pin inside effects control. And when you click on the corner pin, these guys turn from little dots to circular, kind of like crosshairs, okay? You're just going to drag him to the corner, drag the other one to the corner, get as close as you can to be more precise and exact. But I'm going to do this just to show you just utility wise how to do it. I'm not going to be perfect on this, but you can be perfect if you want. I'm going to drag them down to the right. That's good. Get this guy over here and drag him down. Keep going down. That's good like that. Sorry, I'm trying to get this at least decent. There. Nope. There. I'm going to leave it like that. All right. So once you're done with that, you're going to go into opacity. Okay. Because I'm going to scrub this. I'm going to bring the girl back in there. You see, she's behind the actual image. That means that this image, the opacity is too bright. She's not even blending into the actual image. I'm going to go to opacity. I'm going to close the corner pin, click the little arrow, open opacity. And you got all these options here. You're going to go to blend mode. I'm going to go to blend mode. And I think I did darken. You could try a couple of these. Don't be afraid. Try pin light, see what it does. Dark color, see what dark color does. Don't be afraid to click on these. You can see which one works better. I find that multiply look decent, but then you can see that line. So I think dark looks better. It gets rid of that. And if I close up on her image let's look at this closer. You can use these bars to scroll into the image. I want to try to get her to blend in more. Move this up a little bit. I want to see that shoulder here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the footage and go under, you can minimize these little arrows, but we're looking for, it's under Ultra Key. It's part of Keen. And you're going to mess with two of them, matte generation and matte cleanup. I would start with matte generation first. Try transparency. See what that does. You can always reset it. Don't be afraid. You can reset it to the right. And I think transparency looks good as a default. Highlights, you can scrub left and right and you can see what it's highlighting. Sometimes it doesn't do nothing. In this case, it's not really doing anything. I can't really tell. I'm going to just default it. Shadows, just play with shadows. There it is. There's the lines I'm trying to get rid of off her shoulders. And I want to blend her in more. So I'm going to, that looks good right there. Tolerance level, you can scrub that back and forth, see what that does. It's not doing nothing. So I'm going to default it. Pedestal, yeah, it's doing something to the sky up in the top. And I think that 30% looks good. And then once you're done with matte generation, you can do matte cleanup and you can clean this up. See, actually, this looks good. If I bring this in more, it's actually looking really good. Like if I bring it in to about 40, And then we can soften it. Yeah, softening looks good too. So I'm softening it just a little bit. Contrast. It's not really doing very much anything on the contrast. I might default it. Midpoint. Yeah, same thing. It's not doing nothing. And then if I actually go to fit, now you rewind your video, put the music back on, and see what it looks like. And that looks pretty darn good. So we just completed that task that your professor asked you. And the last thing to do is under Adobe Effects, because you're done with your project. All you have to do is in the top right corners, hit that little square with the arrow. It's called Quick Export. Hit that button and you can export it anywhere. Click on the folder wherever you wanted to export it to. I'm using a Mac, so mine looks different. I'm going to export it to my desktop. And it's going to be called, under my desktop, footage MP4. You could rename it. I'll rename it Jeff's underscore homework. I'll just do that. Homework assignment. Okay. And hit save. It just changed it right there. And I'm going to hit export. That's how easy it is to export. This may take a few seconds or a few minutes. Do you see how it's going? And as soon as it's done, it just tells you successfully exported. You can minimize your Adobe Premiere. You can look for that file, which is right here. And I'm going to open it with QuickTime. So we can just see it, to see what it looks like. I'm going to make it smaller. Hold on. Let's make it smaller so we can see what it looks like. There it is. So that's how you overlay a video. Let me get my zoom back on. Sorry, I'm trying to get this up and running again. Stop sharing. There we go. All right, Jeff. So that's how you do it. I'm uploading this to video to YouTube. You follow along. It went step by step. I kind of explained a lot of stuff in there. Showed you how to export your final work so that you can send it to your professor. If you have any questions, send me a message. You can send me a text or Wysant. And then pretty much you're done with this task. You're done with what they asked you to do. Good luck. I hope you have a good grade. Let me know how you do, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Have a great week. Good luck. Bye-bye.